Imagine walking past an old garage or peeking into a dusty barn, only to spot a car worth millions just sitting there, forgotten and falling apart. It might sound like a movie scene, but it's happened in real life more times than you'd believe. Some of the most legendary cars in automotive history have been found in the unlikeliest places, covered in dust, buried under junk, or hidden away behind rusted doors. Today, we're taking a closer look at 10 of the most expensive abandoned cars ever discovered around the world. These aren't just any vehicles. We're talking about rare Ferraris, limited edition Bugattis, and even a Lamborghini found in the middle of a desert. The stories behind these cars are as wild as the price tags they carry. And just wait until you hear about number one. It was sitting in a garage for decades, and when it was finally uncovered, it turned out to be one of the rarest cars ever built, worth tens of millions. Let's start this countdown with number 10. 1966 Ferrari 275 GTB/2, found in a North Carolina garage. This Ferrari was sitting under a dusty cover in a garage in North Carolina for over 25 years. The family who owned it had no idea what they were holding on to. The 275 GTB/2 is one of Ferrari's most beloved Grand Tours, and this particular one had a lightweight aluminum body. Only a handful were made like that. When it was discovered, it was in rough shape, with flat tires, cobwebs everywhere, and layers of dust thick enough to write your name in. But once it was cleaned up and verified, it sold at auction for over $2.5 million, a forgotten Ferrari hiding in plain sight. Lamborghini Mura, found in a basement in Greece. The Lamborghini Mura isn't just a classic, it's the car that redefined what a supercar could be. With its low-slung profile and roaring V12 engine, it became the dream car of the 1960s. So when one was discovered abandoned in the basement of a rundown mansion in Greece, the car world took notice. This particular Mura had been sitting untouched for over 30 years. The mansion's owner had passed away, and no one knew the car was even there. It was hidden under thick layers of dust, with rotted tires and mildew creeping over the body. The interior was musty, and the paint had faded, but the car itself was complete. Despite its condition, the Mura was incredibly rare and highly valuable. After a meticulous restoration that took over a year, the car's value skyrocketed to nearly $3 million. From forgotten basement relic to million-dollar masterpiece, this Mura's story is one for the history books. 1954 Jaguar XK120, found in a chicken coop. This one's wild. A farmer in rural France had used an old Jaguar XK120 as a chicken coop. He had no clue what it was really worth. This classic British sports car had been sitting outside, exposed to the elements, with hay, feathers, and even chicken droppings all over it. Collectors went crazy when the story broke. Even in such terrible condition, the XK120 drew serious attention. Eventually, it was pulled from the coop and sold to a restoration expert. After a painstaking rebuild, the car's value was estimated at just over $400,000. 2003 Ferrari Enzo, found in a Dubai parking garage. Dubai is known for flashy supercars, but it's also where some of them are abandoned. A rare Ferrari Enzo, only 400 were ever made, was found collecting dust in a public parking garage. Local reports said it had been impounded after its owner fled the country due to unpaid debts. The Enzo was left there for years with sun damage, flat tires, and paint peeling from the brutal desert heat. Eventually, the car was taken into custody by authorities and auctioned off. Even in poor shape, it sold for over $1.5 million. Not bad for a car that looked like a write-off. Aston Martin DB4, found in a barn in Scotland. The Aston Martin DB4 is the car that came right before the famous DB5 James Bond drove. So when one was found in a barn in Scotland, people paid attention. This DB4 had been sitting there untouched since the early 1980s. Covered in dust, rust, and spider webs, it looked more like scrap metal than a luxury vehicle. But underneath all that, it was still a numbers-matching classic. After some serious restoration work, the DB4 was valued at $1.2 million. Not a bad surprise for the family who inherited the farm. 1967 Shelby GT 500, found in a backyard in Oklahoma. A car enthusiast in Oklahoma stumbled across something incredible when he visited a family friend's house. In the backyard, covered by a tarp and overgrown weeds, sat a 1967 Shelby GT 500 Mustang, one of the most desirable American muscle cars ever made. The car had been parked there since the early 1970s. The paint was faded and rust had taken over, but the original V8 engine was still intact. After confirming its authenticity, collectors came knocking. The car was later restored and valued at around $250,000. Bugatti Type 57S, found in a garage in England. This might be one of the rarest finds ever. A Bugatti Type 57S from the 1930s was found in a garage in the UK, sitting quietly for over 50 years. It belonged to a doctor who had bought it secondhand and never got around to driving it much. Only 43 of these were ever made. When it was discovered, it was still mostly original, though time hadn't been kind to it. Even unrestored, it was a priceless piece of automotive history. It was sold at auction for more than $4 million. 1956 Ferrari 250 GT Buono, found in a California barn. This sleek Italian beauty was tucked away in a barn in rural California, hidden under old blankets and farm tools. The Ferrari 250 GT Buono is a rare coach-built model from the 1950s, and fewer than 100 were made. When the new owner opened the barn door, he thought it was just an old car. But after doing some research and confirming the serial number, he realized what he had found. After a full restoration, the car was valued at over $1.7 million. Lamborghini Countach, found in an abandoned warehouse in Japan. The Lamborghini Countach is one of the most iconic cars of the 1980s. With its sharp lines, scissor doors, and aggressive stance, it looked like something from the future. It was the poster car for an entire generation. So imagine the surprise when one was discovered sitting forgotten in an abandoned warehouse in Japan. The car had been left untouched for nearly 2 decades. No one knew how it ended up there or why it was never moved. Covered in thick dust, with flat tires and a faded finish, the Countach looked rough on the outside. But when experts looked closer, they were shocked to find it had only 10,000 kilometers on the odometer. Everything was original, and the car hadn't been modified. Underneath the grime, it was in solid shape. After a careful restoration, this forgotten Lambo was brought back to life. Its value? Around $750,000. Not bad for a car that spent 20 years in hiding. Ferrari 250 GTO, found in a French barn. This is the holy grail of barn finds. The Ferrari 250 GTO is one of the most valuable cars in the world. Only 36 were ever built, and one of them was found in a barn in western France, surrounded by hay and farming equipment. The car had belonged to a race car driver and had been sitting untouched since the early 1970s. When it was discovered, the collector world went wild. After authentication and a light restoration, the car was estimated to be worth over $35 million. Yes, you heard that right. $35 million for a car that had been sitting in a barn for nearly 40 years. That wraps up our countdown of the most expensive abandoned cars found around the world. It's crazy to think how many treasures are still out there, sitting under covers, buried in barns, or hiding in forgotten garages. These stories prove that you never know what might be waiting just around the corner, or even in your neighbor's backyard. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your fellow car lovers, and subscribe for more wild stories from the world of rare and classic cars. Who knows? Maybe the next great discovery will be yours.